Ishita, welcome to moneyHOP Q&A session. Great to have you over here today. So today we are talking about MBA abroad. As you know, after graduation, most of the students want to take an MBA abroad. It is one of the most sought out courses. So the first question is, how can students choose the right university for their MBA? And how can they select the right country for it? What's your take on it?
Okay. Uh, Thanks, Vishnu. Thanks for having me over. Uh, it's always wonderful when I talk about this topic because it's personally very close to my heart. Your question has two parts. So it might be a little long in terms of an answer because first we'd probably talk about the country and we can move on to how to choose the university as a second aspect. So, what happens is when students do come to us wanting to do an MBA, many times they come with their personal preference that, this is where I want to go. This is the country where I want. But we tell them that, choosing a country for your MBA needs to be a little more strategic rather than a personal preference or a personal choice. And when I say strategic, I would look at the macro level in terms of deciding the country. Firstly, look at the market access, the industry and the market access. The mantra is simple: go where my industry thrives. So if I want to do an MBA in global finance, then my obvious choice would be US or UK. If I want to do something in engineering management, then perhaps Germany. So again, which country is the hub for my particular program or the kind of career that I want to ultimately pursue? The second aspect here would be the program structure, right? Because in Europe, as you know, there are 1-year MBA, and in the US, there are 2-year MBA programs. So the main thing is I need to go where, the market hub is for my particular career. Secondly, again, choosing a career is also about the program structure and the, opportunity cost. By that, I would mean that, like, as you would know, US has 2 years MBA, Europe has 1-year MBA. There are some students who may not have the luxury of time and they cannot stay away from the world of work for more than a year. So if that is the case, then certainly, Europe is where the student should look at. But if you are someone who, again, has the time that, okay, I don't mind spending 2 years trying to figure out, you want to look at a career pivot, then certainly US is a fantastic place because you have, internships embedded in the MBA programs, which gives you an understanding of where you may want to work at the end of your 2 years. So those two aspects are very, very important. And third aspect, which is at this moment of flux, is the visa, which is the country that gives me the post study work opportunity, a multi-year working opportunity. If if the country is not giving me that flexibility to stay on, look for a job, then it doesn't de-risk the investment that you are making for the MBA program. So yeah, where country is concerned, yes, I would look at these three factors at a broad level. When we are talking about the university, so once you figure out your country, then is the micro level of work that starts happening. When you decide about, you shortlist your universities, you deep dive into understanding the DNA of that university. Look for the curriculum and the faculty fit. Does the curriculum really, bridge the skill gaps that I have? Does it offer the program that I want? Right? Does the university get the faculty from the workforce, from organizations, from companies to come in? That kind of knowledge is extremely important for students to get when they go for their MBA. Secondly, beyond numbers, I would always urge students not to get keyed into the rankings, which is the first thing that we go to, that okay, what is the ranking of the college, but rather study the I would say employment reports of the university. Who are the companies that are coming to recruit? Where are the graduates going to work? Which are the departments? Which are the regions that they are working in? Right? Then once you analyze that, because that is what is really going to be a direct outcome to your MBA program. Ultimately, getting a job in the domain that you want to work in is what you're going there for. So you need to analyze the university's placement power. A third aspect which is very, very important is, again, understanding the culture of the university. It's going to be very different from the ones that are there in your own country. Particularly, we're talking in terms of India. It's very, very different. And is it collaborative? Is it competitive? What is the kind of alumni engagement? Because everyone comes out with a degree, but what you leave your MBA program with is lifelong asset of your network. So to sum it up, I think it is both these decisions, choosing a country and your program, is a systematic decision rather than emotional.
So you explained about the entire process in such a deep detail. Still, I have one question. Like, what are the common mistakes that students make when they are choosing their MBA abroad?
It's funny that you asked that, and interesting that you have figured that there are mistakes that students do make. And you'll be surprised that even the best of the students and experienced students make those mistakes. Firstly, there are times students are not able to answer one basic question: what's your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal? So if you're not able to understand that, that means there is a lack of self-awareness. So if that is the case, then you are not able to answer a whole lot of questions that are asked in your essay. And the university admissions officers are extremely trained to assess whether your essay is a copy-paste from some other prompt, or have you really researched about the university, the professors, the internships, the clubs, all of that, and you've tailor-made your answer, your essays to that particular university. So yes, that's a big and a very common mistake that students make. And I've also talked about the not being able to answer your question about what your goals are. Also, when you are asked about your responsibilities, students typically try to detail out their experience rather than demonstrating the impact. What you mean? What I mean is, like, they're listing the responsibilities, but not telling exactly what have they done, what have they achieved. They're not following the STAR method, as we call it, like, the situation, the task, what was the action, what was the result. If you don't look at it under that framework, it's very difficult to answer these questions. Another area where students do struggle is getting the right recommendation letters. So typically, it's a wrong notion that they have to get the recommendation letter from the big bosses. It's not the case. They need to get it from people who they work with. It would be their immediate manager who has worked with them on a project, who has seen their growth, and will be able to qualify and quantify exactly what the student is capable of doing. So these are like mistakes, tangible mistakes, and some things which some overconfident students do make is not reading their essays, not getting their essays read, mistakes in typos. Those are, unpardonable. And the same kind of a problem also happens where, interviews happen. They go in unprepared, which is absolutely a no-no. You cannot go to an interview without practicing, without preparing, without knowing how to structure your answers. Your MBA interview is very different from your job interview. So you need to really understand how to, do that. So yeah, these are some of the mistakes that the best of the students make.
The next question is also about job, the same thing which you talked about. So how to maximize the chances of securing a job once they complete their MBA abroad? Because most of the students who are going abroad would be planning to settle over there. So job is the most important thing. So how to maximize that possibility?
So again, in today's context, it's again a very, very fluid world. We don't there is a lot of recession happening. The job market is not great. However, I would say students need to be proactive to be able to secure the job. And by proactive, I mean, going with the focus that, yes, I ultimately want to work here. So tailoring all your, 2 years or year that you work studying towards doing your networking, trying to get the best kind of internships that are possible, working with the career department of the college, going for career fairs. And, also another thing that students forget to check is the company that I want to apply to, does it even hire international talent? Because there are many companies who do not sponsor visas. So while you may have it in mind that, okay, this is where I want to work, but when you actually ultimately apply, you're going to be you're not going to stand a chance because they do not employ international students for visa restrictions. And also, when you are going for your MBA program, sometimes it's also good to see whether the course that you're going for does have a requirement in that particular country for a job. Is it a area? Is it a place where they're already existing and overflowing talent, or is there a gap? Are you being able to fill that gap? So these are the assessments and these are the researches. So you need to leverage your alumni MBA alumni network as well, so as to know exactly what the how to maximize getting a job.
So, as you know, nowadays a lot of things are happening in terms of technology, like artificial intelligence, online learning. All of this thing is highly trending. How all of this, how it's shaping the MBA now, the global MBA scape, how it's shaping, how is technology doing it?
I know, Vishnu, that's a very timely question, but I don't think anyone, even the academia, has an answer to that question, because AI has certainly disrupted major areas, and higher education has not been spared. Colleges are still trying to figure out what they should be doing to train students to think independent of AI. Because, in today's world, the way it is, AI would perhaps give me a much better business plan than done by any traditional in a traditional way, right? So if I'm already getting that, then the challenge for the professors, the universities, is to be able to teach how how students can bypass that, and what is it that they can get in. What are the emotional, the human aspects that they can get in when they are working in that particular domain. So ethical leadership, critical thinking, judgment, these are areas where universities will need to focus on in a big way. But I think it's a churn that is going on, and I was in a conversation with a university professor in India, one of the top university professors, and he too agreed that we don't have an idea yet. And when I asked him that, what about your counterparts in the US? He says, I don't think even they have an idea yet. So I guess programs are getting evolved. AI is being embedded. They cannot ignore it. How they are going to be automating, how they are going to ensure students use it ethically. That is also very important. So a lot of new courses will be coming up in perhaps the near future.
Now let's get to the final question. It's about the finance, like how to fund the education, especially MBA abroad. Are there education loans available? And also, please tell about the scholarship part. Students would be looking forward to that. So can you elaborate on this?
Okay. So finance typically, definitely where international education is concerned, you do need to firstly plan way in advance if you are going to be doing your master's, MBA, or whatever it may be. So firstly, financial planning starts much before you even start thinking of applying. So once you do that, at least you're at a better place. Because banks, loans are available nowadays. Now, when you have nationalized banks giving loans, which could be based on collaterals, but that takes a bit of more time, because it means the collaterals have to get assessed. The interest rates could vary; they might be a little less for those kind of loans. But there are also unsecured loans that students can easily get. But for that, the unsecured loans, because they're high risk loans that they're giving, certainly the percentage of the interest will be higher. And also, students have to be very sure of the program that they're going for and the college that they're going to, because that will depend on whether the student would be eligible to even pay back that particular amount. So I would say not every college and every course will get a loan, but whoever is planning to go abroad for MBA typically goes to good universities, and that can be taken care of by by bank loans. There are a lot of domestic scholarships that are available, which they can apply for. For that, you have to write some essays. Domestic scholarships, which I'm talking about, are the Indian scholarships. Where international scholarships are concerned, they're on merit based, so which automatically the student gets basis their profile. So it's a mix of things. You can, again, this is where the preparation comes. If you have been able to save up a little, then your loan amount becomes perhaps that minus X, and then you get that loan, or you look for scholarships. Scholarship essays are very important because your again, those are for the external scholarships that you're writing for. So there are lots and lots of options. So I've never seen a student who wants to go and study does not get a loan, because all said and done, MBA even today is one of the most sought after degree that students want, and getting that certainly makes them a lot more employable. So it increases their chances of being employed. And in fact, I've recently written a blog also on my website on breaking this entire thing down as to where can they look for scholarships, and what are the banks that are offering loans. So if you want, I can also share that with you, or you could perhaps share that with your students or whoever.
Sure, Ishita. We'll put the link in the description so that the audience can go through the blog. You have shared a lot of incredible insights about MBA. I think the student who is seeing it would definitely benefit from it. At the same time, the audience would love to know about you and your brand. So can you tell us about it?
All right. So I started counseling about 7 to 8 years ago. But before that, I myself was in the marketing field, where I spent nearly 2 decades in advertising, sales, marketing. I've worked with some of the top newspapers and international newspapers, magazines in India, like Financial Times, New Yorker, Business Week, Forbes, and from India, I have worked with government departments for marketing purposes. So after having done that for nearly 2 decades, I kind of hung my boots from marketing, sales, and then I got into education, which was actually my first love. So when I was growing up, or my generation was growing up, we never had career counseling. So one kind of went into an area without knowing where one was going. But when it was like, I had a great run, but not everyone is as lucky. And so 2015, 16, I started my work in career counseling, and then slowly and steadily. So I do a lot of psychometric assessments, where I work with students to understand their skill sets, their personality, career interests, then create their entire career journey for school students. Even a lot of MBA students come to me not knowing which is the core subject that they should be specializing in. So I do that. I do a lot of undergrad study abroad guidance as well. So in 2016, I started career counseling. That's when I founded Careerforte, and I work a lot with students, school students, college students. I do a lot of coaching as well for professionals who are in their early careers, mid careers, and so. And if you want, you can always reach out to me through my website, or you can go through the website for some informative blogs, which I try to keep putting in. And yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ishita. It was such a nice session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vishnu, for having me.